The Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal big footy rules still apply. This is the Flogcast for round 3 of the 2016 season. The membership microwave of Starburns from Richmond is here, and I'm joined by Mr. Moral Victory from St Kilda, Cooksen.
How are we all?
Returning again after a couple of near misses over the past few weeks, the Mayor of East Geelong, Teach.
Hello.
The star of Season 2 of Netflix's Making a Murderer from Collingwood, Morgan Ashley.
Hello.
And bounced up off the rookie list again, North's best youngster, Northernlights.
Oh,
He's alive.
he's just been dragged in because he's Morgs' boyfriend.
Right place, right time.
So we'll begin with Gore Tears, and, well, who wants to go first? We're still mostly losers this week, but
I've got to say I have goo this week, surprisingly.
do go on.
Go on.
Yeah, where'd you get that goo from? You fucking last on the ladder.
Whoever says has to do with football, the English cricket team choked spectacularly once again, proving once again they are fucking pathetic in international support. So there's goo.
What is it with you St Kilda supporters and loving the West Indies winning?
Well-
You, and there's Plugger. You know, Plugger wants to boof them all.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. What's going on with that?
It's mostly just Plugger, but Cookie's clearly on the wagon too, so
Yeah, but fuck England, so... I mean, it was funny.
that was pretty funny. And my favourite part about it is the only team to beat the West Indies at the World T20 was Afghanistan. That's like winning the premiership this year and getting done by Essendon or Carlton.
All right, come on, Cookie. There's your goo. What about your tears?
No, we only pick one Teach.
Tears
He's
will be
been out
later
for
So
3
long
weeks
since
and
he's
he's
turned up,
so
but he
not
doesn't
up
know
to
how it
speed.
goes.
Teach needs a run in the 2s, I think.
Off the North
I've
podcast.
played in the 2s most of my life.
Yeah, so who wants to go next?
All right, so got a little bit of goo for Hawkins kicking that 50-metre soccer goal, but we lost, so, you know, it was just not that big a deal.
That was such a lazy fat guy effort. Instead of bending over to pick it up and trying to run with the ball, he just flung the boot at it and it went through.
Yeah, well, fuck, that's what I would have done.
Fair enough. Who wants to go next? I think we could preempt Morgs' one. So, NL, do you want to go next?
Oh, geez, nothing really goo-worthy about North's game. We just did what we had to do. So I'll probably go Tears with Melbourne fucking it up again and just letting those cunts win a game. Just like, how do you just keep monumentally fucking up like this? Just when everyone thinks they're about to turn the page and then they go and let everyone down by losing to top-ups. Like, fucking
Like I
hell.
said last week, exactly.
Aren't
what I said
they?
happened,
Aren't
what
they
happened.
just a bunch of shitbag losing pricks?
They beat the Giants, but really it's the same old Melbourne.
But they were talking himself up over like the NAB Cup and shit.
Yeah,
So,
well, this was their first loss of the
Jesus.
year. A lot of teams reverted to history this week, but Melbourne probably in the most disgraceful fashion of everybody.
I don't know, you were pretty bad.
No, but we didn't lose the top-ups. We were just bad. There's a difference between being bad and being Melbourne, still.
There would have been like a dozen suicides in the MCC after that game. Because
Yeah, 'cause they would have
There's
turned
only
up
13
too.
people there.
They would have turned up because the preemptive bandwagon was rolling.
oh, they're friggin' shit. They are just hopeless.
Can I go now?
Yeah, you can.
Goo. Giant, massive amounts of Alex Fasolo. Goo. Whole cupfuls on the boundary line. Absolutely fantastic game by Alex. And I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. He'll be in the All-Australian squad.
He still won't. There's one game.
Oh,
remember.
bullshit.
It's not one game, you fucking morons.
No.
It's not one game. He hasn't just played one good game. He will continue to do this. The penny has dropped and Alex Fasolo has arrived. Like it or not, I was right.
So he played well last week too?
Yeah.
No, I'm just... It was a genuine question. I didn't...
If Enoch survived last week, he won't survive this week.
Oh, man, you're fucked. You're cutting across for Solo. You are in big trouble, man.
No, I don't mind him. I was just asking if he played well last week because in an 80-point loss, surely no one could.
I think that's the point.
Oh, Chalor played well last week, but I didn't think I'd make him that was a bit obvious. But it was close.
He's a toss bag. He's no good.
Oh, you're right. He's no good. Terrible player. Ridiculous.
Because toss bags have never been good players before.
Your whole team's full of toss bags that are good players.
Well,
all of your good players
point.
are toss bags. So shut up.
Good. Don't tell me to shut up, bitch.
Shut up, bitch.
And mine, I've got tears, obviously, and it could have gone so many ways, but tears for Trent Cotchin. We found him, but maybe he should have stayed hiding because...
You go riding on the horses, baby.
There's still not words to the song.
Yeah, he was ineffectual for most of the game, but it was...
38 times ineffectual.
Has he replaced Tom Rockcliffe as the most ineffective mid?
No, because he was at least good once upon a time. And this is the thing that shits me. The moment the game, people want to point to all these other things, and Vickery's fuck-up was pretty bad too, but the worst of them all was...
Oh, Jesus, Vickery.
Worst moment of all was Cotchin had it on the half-back flank, and it just so happened to be right in front of me. And this is what shits me about, and this is a coaching thing, this is a Damien Hardwick thing. The players don't arrive at Richmond like this, they get Hardwicked. But the first instinct is now to go sideways. And this is what he did. He did it, and it led to Fasolo's goal where they kicked it to Taylor Hunt, who, every time he would touch the ball, he turned it over. Didn't even have to take possession. It led to Fasolo's second last one, I think. But it was Cotchin going sideways when he had players...
You can call it second last, but I'll call it fifth.
And he had players down the line free, and it's just that, and it was just that sort of shit, and those ineffectual disposals, and even when he had it, poor decision making, and it just, Rockcliffe might be the least effective midfielder, but Cotchin might just be the least effective captain.
Could not lead a horse to water.
Even if he rode it.
You've been a bit harsh there, Morgs.
No, I'm not. Absolutely. The only person on that ground that showed any form of leadership is Jack Rewalt, and they absolutely refused to put him in the leadership group. If they're going to continue to deny who their one leader is, then they deserve to be whacked at every opportunity.
Pretty much, and Revolt also happened to be the one who stood up in the final too last year.
And pretty much he was the only one that even came close to saving the game for you when he was in the back line and spoiled. Jack gets a hell of a whack whenever he does something wrong, but he needs to be acknowledged as the only player that you have at the moment that's showing any leadership.
Well, it sounds like Morgs needs to replace Hardwick as the coach.
Oh, I could.
No, I don't want Fasolo at Richmond.
I wouldn't give you Fasolo, but
You're going to malt houses. Anyway, let's go to that game. And yes, I did mention there were teams reverting to historical types, and Richmond did that in just finding new ways to lose in a heartbreaking circumstance. But this time it was, with the deliberate out of bounds and the Brodie Grundy snap and just all those fuck-ups. Those are new fuck-ups, but it's still the same result.
It's absolutely heartbreaking to lose a game like that.
It was infuriating. There are games like that when you're that bad and you nearly sneak away, but it gets pinched at the end like that.
Well, we had a whole season like that.
You did have a whole season like that.
Try having a whole season of it.
I don't want to tempt fate, but short of losing to Essendon, this would be the membership microwaving game of the year. But, we'll probably find a way to top it now that I've said that. But this was that game where everything that could go wrong in every single worst way could go wrong. And it was a stinker of a game for 3 quarters, because neither team was good for 3 quarters.
Putrid. It was so boring. It was so lackluster in every way.
It didn't get good until everyone got tired.
And the last quarter just became magnificent. I picked a man up. I lifted him off his feet. I dropped him twice. He was on a walking stick. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I read that in the thread. What are you doing, bashing a fucking old bloke?
He wasn't old. He was just obviously injured.
You didn't say crutches for life, did you?
No, not this time. Crutches for life. That was the best. No, sometimes not old people use walking sticks.
I'm going to say that most of the Richmond players are complete cowards. I mean, they should have iced the game, but they didn't. That's a severe fuck-up from the coaches, and as it says, Hardwick should have been sacked. just, I mean, he's a spud coach.
He's a terrible coach. And the fact that his players can come off the ground, be interviewed afterwards and say they didn't know what the coaches expected of them in that moment, that's just diabolical. If you don't know what you should be doing and how you should be icing the clock, then what the fuck are you doing? David Asprey admitted that. So,
I mean, Collingwood looked pretty decent. I mean, they still have some pretty good players. I mean, Treloar's just a gun, and he was probably right about Richmond.
Oh, please. He went and played for them and they still only beat us by a point. Boy Dog's
it
logic.
doesn't matter whether he was right or not. What wasn't right is for Cochin to have a go at him with 8 minutes to go. What a fucking mong. What an idiot.
Oh, wait. Cochin tried to actually do something on field? I don't believe you.
When you kicked a goal, Cochin went up to him and said, oh, you weren't right this time, blah, blah, blah. And then after the game, Treloar went up to him and said, you went a bit too early, and patted him on the head and walked off. The fact that Cochin just stood there and took that from another player and to be talked down to like that is just, you're a pissant. What an absolute pissant.
There's not much you can do after the game. But
no, there isn't. You can't really start anything after a game, but you could do a Stevie J and tell him to fuck off when Crowley tried to shake his
pat it on the head and then just walk away like, you're a dickhead.
Well, I think Collingwood have got a really good list, but they're young, so they're going to be up and down. They're going to grab teams when you don't expect them to do that. They're not going to win the flag, but, you know, they're going to build up because they're young players. They're really good, and they're going to come, but it's not this year, maybe next.
Yeah, but I think, and just a little slap on the back to Darcy Moore for taking initiative and not having a shot at goal when he wouldn't have kicked it.
Fasolo would have taken a shot.
Fasolo would have taken a shot and kicked 7 and won us the game off his own boot, which he did win us the game off his own boot anyway. But to put it to the right spot and somehow having Pendlebury there to bring the ball to ground and Grundy crumb it, fantastic. Funny.
But I did mention that, once again, there's a theme here, same old things, and same old Collingwood fans. Yeah, you can't have a racist controversy, basically, in the AFL without it being Collingwood at the centre of it, so we'll go to the Stop the Mosques campaign.
How disgusting.
They should just fuck them off out of football. We don't need them.
No. Whoever put up that sign, whoever brought it in, not one person that is associated with that should be allowed to attend an AFL game ever. That is disgusting.
I didn't see it. What happened?
Someone brought a banner in. It was the United Patriots Front Party.
Oh, right-wing dickheads.
But a few of them decided that they'd make a statement, I guess, because they're playing Richmond and Hawley plays for Richmond. So, yeah, they brought the banner in, and I gotta be honest, I love the responses to this. It's disgusting and it's indefensible and all this. And then you have the people who come in and say that the AFL shouldn't get political or blah, 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 blah. The AFL's not getting political by telling you can't put a banner up showing everyone how racist you are. It's just...
No. So they brought a banner to the football that said, stop the mosques.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it said go pies on it or something.
Too bad I wasn't there, or I'd fucking bash their heads in.
Yeah.
Let's move on to, once again, it was mentioned as NL's tears, and it's Melbourne losing to Essendon, and...
How fucking shit are they? They lose to Essendon. Oh.
No, I mean, you got to give credit to Essendon. I mean, Joe Danaher played a fucking ripper of a game. Like, I went there.
Don't give credit to Essendon, because...
I'm just saying, you have to give credit to Danaher.
That's the one thing you never do.
But Melbourne just, honestly, fucking poor ruse. Get your players not to be arrogant fucking shits when they've proven to be crap for a decade. Get them to play decent football. You're getting paid $1 million and you produce this shit. I mean, goddamn, that's gonna piss off to the snow.
How a team can possibly be full of themselves after winning by 2 points the week before only because the opposition were inaccurate? They didn't win because of any other reason. They won because GWS lost the game. They didn't win it. How you can turn up the next week and be so full of yourself that you pay no respect to your opposition is diabolical. You are an absolute pissant.
To be fair, they were playing Essendon.
That doesn't matter. You respect every opponent because they are there to play. And some of these players are playing for their careers to try and resurrect something that they want. They have an actual want to be there. If these Melbourne players don't want to be there, fuck off.
You got to admit it's pretty funny.
It's not unexpected. I predicted it last week. I said it would happen, but you don't listen when you're not on teach.
Did you tip it?
Yeah, no, shut up. You know I didn't. You know I tipped it on my Monday tips.
We only take teachers Monday tips.
Settle down. Why are you so fucking angry?
Oh, I said that Essendon would win because Melbourne do this, and I said that Jesse Hogan was petulant and had a bad attitude, and he was a 10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, geez. If you had a crack at him last week, have you got anything to add this week?
But there's nothing to add. I said it last week, and Peter was like, no, he's beyond his years. He's mature. No, he's not.
He was worse this
nothing
week.
but a petulant flog.
I mean, Jack Watts was better than him. Jack Watts was laying more physical pressure.
No.
Jack fucking Watts.
Literally, they've drunk some of the dirty bathwater from down the road. They believe in their own hype, but they've actually made it. Guess what, Jesse? You're in your second year of playing football. You're nothing, mate. You're nothing. And I don't care how many dollar signs Fremantle are offering you, you're not earning a dollar.
I feel really sorry for NL.
He's probably going to kick 7 goals next week on us now that he's going to cop it in the media all week. This is exactly what we need.
North's going to win. North's going to win the flag. I've told you.
That doesn't mean they won't lose to Melbourne or Hogan won't kick 7, Teach.
Stop picking them every year, Peach.
I hate when teams have a bad loss right before they play us.
I hate when teams have bad losses right before you play them. Yeah, it's fucking annoying. But no, they were pathetic and they took Essendon lightly, which no one's going to do now. You just knew Essendon were going to get someone this year for taking them lightly. I just didn't think it was going to happen now in such a way.
They had to do it on the walk to the G game,
fucking
the Kool-Aid game.
You fucking bunch of idiots.
They're going to start thinking they did nothing wrong again.
They're marching in support of their club, which did wrong to their own club. I mean, who are they supporting? I mean, their club fucked themselves over. I mean, stop being delusional cunts.
They're just condoning experimental drug use and doping. I don't know how you can march to that. That's how Nazis start.
Well, you can march to it because it will let you march for longer.
No, they've convinced themselves that we are the bad people who are attacking them.
Yeah.
You've got the wrong people here, guys. Like, it's not us, it's your club.
Melbourne just ruined that for everybody. When you consider it, this was a bad week for Melbourne to go to fucking sleep and get arrogant and drink their bathwater, as Morgs said.
Oh, they were fucking hopeless.
Really, when you're a club, when you haven't won 2 games in a row in the same season for 6 or 7 years, or whatever the fuck it is.
Shit, is that right?
Yes.
2006.
Yeah, they've been rubbish for fucking years.
They were shooting for 2 in a row in the same season for the first time in forever. And everyone was like, it's Essendon. It's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen. You know, this is a big step for Melbourne. And what do? They fucking lose.
They fuck it up.
They lose what was considered unlosable at the start of the year.
It was peak Melbourne, really.
They really are a blight on the game sometimes, Melbourne.
And the more things change, the more they stay the same. Richmond cough up shitty fucking last minute heartbreakers. Melbourne are just pathetically not taking any steps forward. And if we're done on Melbourne, Fremantle still don't look like winning a flag anytime soon.
More flags on the moon than Fremantle. How fucking shit are they?
Oh. How's Ross Lyon working out for you, Freo?
We told you so. St Kilda, we fucking told you so. We said 2011, same shit, and it's happening, you fucking delusional cunts.
Richmond, Brisbane, and Collingwood all gave coaching extensions to unproven dud coaches. And yet, worst off-season coaching extension goes to... Freo.
Oh, and doesn't he just walk like a fucking faggot?
Who cares how he walks, except that he doesn't walk the walk after talking the talk? Because they scored 100 points. We're going to score 100 points. Yeah, it's all about scoring 100 points.
Yes, they did. They got 100. Yes.
Just forgot
but they still got beaten.
They still got beaten by a Gold Coast Suns team that Gary Ablett did not play well for.
Jeez.
What a bunch of fucking potatoes they are.
They got beaten by Jack Martin and Tom Lynch and...
Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall, that's the one, yeah.
Aaron Hall will be on 6 Brownlow votes.
Tell you what, the expansion teams, they are really coming.
Oh, they were expected to. If anything, the Suns are a year late.
I think it's not the players that you were told
No.
that you were told about. Like Aaron Hall, he was never one of the ones that was talked up like the others. So I think it's good to see players like that developing.
So where's all the big names like David Swallow and Prestia? You don't seem to hear much of those guys anymore.
Well, Prestia played. David Swallow's going to North.
I might, I used to.
Gold Coast look seriously impressive. I mean,
They really, really look good, and so do GWS. I mean, my goodness, they're probably going to both play finals.
We'll come to the Giants a bit later, but it was pretty funny that you mentioned the expansion clubs that West Coast have won the title of last club standing, yet to lose, so Freo don't even have that going for them.
Oh, Freo.
But it is a bit of a typical West Coast award because they do have a habit of skiing over teams in this recent era of the last 5 years. And the other thing about it is, what do we think about Ross Lyon? He's been in bigger holes than this before, such as...
Or maybe bigger financial holes, but he walked into a prime St Kilda list, develops 2 players, Stephen and Armitage. Apart from that, fuck all.
You could argue he didn't develop Stephen either.
Yeah. Goes to Fremantle. Prime listed Freo. Who has he developed? Like Tendai Muzungu
Walters.
and maybe Zach Wilson, who keeps on following him because, you know, he probably sucks his dick or something. I don't know.
He's fucked. He's going to get sacked.
But he signed till 2020.
Well,
that's why he got the long contract.
He'll get paid out and he'll keep the money, but he's fucked.
You know, they are only 0-2, but geez, they could be 0-4 so damn easy and kiss finals goodbye at that rate.
Oh, they're fucked. They are completely fucked.
And I don't think a team's gone 0-2 and made the finals for like 15 years or something, I heard recently. So
It's 3% of all teams, and I think Sydney and North, and that's in the last 15 years. So
Sydney and Carlton, but Carlton only did it from ninth.
So it's not looking good.
They play the Derby next week. I'm pretty sure they have Hawthorn or someone in round 4. So, you know.
Us.
Oh, it's you.
So I'm hoping they win the Derby and get a bit of a false sense of
Where is it?
here.
I don't think you're going to need them to win the Derby to beat them, but...
Hopefully, if we get them on the back of 0-3,
they have no forward line.
Yeah.
true.
How are they going to kick goals?
I don't know, get Pavlich on a wheelchair.
He looks sadder by the week.
Oh, he's fucked. He shouldn't have played on.
No, we knew that last year. Nothing else on Freo and the Suns?
We told you so, Freo. We told you so.
So, Teach did mention the Giants, and they were pretty good, weren't they, Teach? Were you impressed by them?
No, fuck them, cunts.
I mean, Mumford played.
Yeah, Mumford ironed some guys out. Was there anything in that game in particular that caught your eye, Teach?
No, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch the
After.
game.
Oh,
No, after half time, I went out and walked the dogs.
Oh,
You are an absolute stalker.
Nah, fuck them. They were shit.
they weren't shit in the first half.
So does that mean they have to hand back their round 1 premiership, or?
Well, we didn't win the round 1 premiership.
Well, that's what it seemed like. You fucking moron
You
support. Acted
Oh,
like
that
you won a premiership in round 1.
That was great when we beat Hawthorn. I always
That's what the season's
loved
been reduced to for them.
always loved beating Hawthorn, but, you know, I could see that we weren't going to win, and half-time, I just went, fuck this, and I went out and walked the dogs.
I still find it funny that Geelong have like 20 ruckmen and all of them are shit.
They're not shit.
Smith's alright, but he's...
They are. I mean,
No, but
They're
it isn't
soft,
Blitzarves
And
like
they're not intimidating, they're pathetic.
They got taken to task by Mummy the Merc.
the mummified.
Dangerfield
Yeah.
cost them the game pretty much. You know, running too much. That was funny.
Oh, yeah, they'd come from nowhere. Like, they'd made plenty of other mistakes to that point.
There was a police report for people looking for Dangerfield because he went missing.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all in the third quarter when the Giants put the 6-goal lead up.
All right, well, get fucked, you cunts.
You didn't even watch the third quarter. How can you say that?
You went missing too, Teach.
Teach or Dangerfield, who was the greater loss? The G squad lost their way.
I'm not saying anything. Fuck off.
I mean, Stevie J also kicked a few goals. That was quite funny. He even smart tackled the shit out of one of the young Geelong players.
Yeah, Stevie J chased. He's clearly taken that selfish thing on board and tried to be a bit more of a team player.
Bad Geelong culture, man.
Yeah, well, fuck off.
Concerning.
Yeah, the youth was concerning again as well.
I just don't think they're very good, and I love that they think they are. It's fantastic. You're not as good as you think you are, guys.
I agree with you. I picked them to finish bottom 6.
I think they're a good, solid 9th, 10th team. Not much more.
So yeah, they're going to be one of those teams that's thereabouts but never quite there anymore.
Yeah.
We're a bit shit this year.
Let's go to the grand final replay. Not the grand final rematch, but the grand final replay. Because, well, was there any fucking difference? Josh Gibson kicked a goal this time, but
Josh Kennedy and Jack Darling ironically showed up in this game, but the rest of the team didn't.
Kennedy only gave 1 goal for the X's, though.
Yeah, West Coast, they're crap.
I just don't know how they turn up like that. It's just doing it again. Same fuck-ups.
Just shit
It's a
the
bit
bed.
hard to understand how bad the West Coast were. But, you know, you've got to hand it to Hawthorn. They were always a gun side, and they just took them down.
They got a bit of usage out of their lesser lights, the young players that Penal talked about last week.
That Sicily played well, 3 goals, despite looking like an alien.
He's a good player, that guy.
Yeah, but you can't imagine him getting a root after the game. I mean, he just looks too weird.
Oh, Cameron Ling did.
Yeah, but Cameron Ling lived in Geelong. Anyone's desperate to fuck a Geelong player in Geelong.
But it's just really, really concerning on West Coast's part. And I loved the reaction afterwards, like the sky is falling in.
Oh, didn't they just go bananas on the West Coast board?
There was actually someone posted a thread, it's time to fuck off Matt Priddis, so they're back on that. That's where they are.
You get Priddis to retire.
Some of them, not all of them, but some of them are back to it's Priddis' fault again. Oh, unbelievable. But there is a serious problem with them on the MCG against Hawthorn. You know, that's twice they haven't showed up, and both times those games were close for a long time. Hawthorn couldn't put them away, as shit as West Coast were. If they just bothered to be there for a half, the first half, they might actually win one, but they can't do it, and I don't know why. But it's like they get on a big ground and, you know, they see the big stadium and go, wow, this is way nicer than anything in WA, and they're just overawed by their surroundings or something. That new stadium can't come fast enough for them. Let's go to, well, the showdown and talk about deflating on the big stage. The Puffers, Port Adelaide.
They've been found out. Ken Hinkley, his entire game plan is run around a lot, see what happens. It went then just passes to Wingard.
Who does fuck all.
Oh.
Well, that's a bit harsh. Wingard's gone.
Wingard would be your second best player.
Port have no tactic, and they just run around a lot.
I think people are finally coming around on Port. I've been saying for a good year and a bit.
Okay, Jose.
That they're just not that good. And yeah, they had that one decent season where they were about as good as North, but since then they've been proven to be pretenders. They've reverted. Well, they haven't gone back to how they were when they were complete shit, but people just keep expecting that at some point they're going to snap into it and fly up the ladder when it's just not going to happen. They're just not that good.
They're really good forward at the centre, but their problem is they are shit defensively, and they covered it well with structure that's been found out since. And I have noted that so far this week, none of the Pufferfish supporters have bumped that bloody Jasper Pittard thread. So I'm guessing he must have been woeful again. And it's the types of, there's Jasper Pittard and there's Impey plays down back and there's a couple of others who are average AFL footballers who were made to look a bit better by the slingshot system that Ken Hinkley had, where they've got all these talented players forward of the ball. You know, they have, and Westhoff as a midfielder is another one, but they had Wingard and they had Gray and they had, even Monfries is pretty handy in that role of just being able to Hartlett, even with his kicking skills, getting up the ground fast, running back, kicking the goals, not quite over the back, but just quick ball movement. But their defence, when they actually press up hard, which seems to be the thing, the Crows just open them up, and St Kilda did it the week before with about 6 out the back, 6 goals out the back.
The first time they had 6 out the back at St Kilda.
But anything else out of that game? Are the Puffers bad? The Crows good?
I reckon Crows are going to be very good.
I think it's a little bit of both.
I reckon the Crows are on the up. And
the Crows were good the week before, and they were good again this week. And Port are shit.
Yeah, they're not shit, but they're
Are you saying they're a bit of a Geelong team in the 9th, 10th range?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Crows, I think, back to what I was saying about how Port used to move the ball. The Crows move the ball like that too, but they actually defensively sound. That's the difference, I guess, between the two. Speaking of a team who moved the ball quite well, and Northernlights calls them the new Port Adelaide. The Dogs smacked St Kilda, and they've conceded less points than anyone.
The Dogs played shit house that game, but we somehow managed to match them. We could not kick a target. Our handballs were fucking pathetic, and if that's the effort they're doing, I want those players to be fucking punched in the head repeatedly. I mean, I can count on one hand the players who played well. That was McCartan, Bruce, Noons, Sam Fisher. Everyone else...
Oh, Dogs are coming.
Well, no wonder you're struggling, because you're not meant to kick your targets, you're meant to kick to your targets.
Well, maybe they should kick each other.
The Bulldogs are coming.
Oh, and so are all of their
Seriously good
supporters
team.
and all you bandwagoners. You're all coming everywhere. Give it a...
Premiership bandwagon, Teach. Jump on board.
Get on
No,
it, Teach.
well,
Dogs.
no.
Leave off alone.
Get on this one with me, Teach.
My bandwagon is North. You
No,
know that.
On your teach.
Yeah.
Don't want him. I'm
And-
trying to save you, you dickhead.
Oh, man, you are in for some fucking serious punishment tonight.
Me? Ooh, sounds good.
Ooh, Jeez.
Back to the Dogs.
But seriously, if that's the effort they're doing for your captain's 300th game,
Yes.
you can all fuck off.
But
Fuck
you
off.
didn't list Revolt amongst those players, so was his effort down?
Real just had a mech game, but he's allowed to have a bad game.
He's been carrying him for like 4 or 5 years, and that's the effort they put in his 300th game. Just
double team him. Every side double teams him and stops him from taking marks.
Yeah, but that means Josh Bruce is free though, so which is handy for us.
All right, well, just
And McCann got free.
not on this week's effort, but kudos to Rue for being a magnificent footballer, a magnificent person, and for reaching the milestone. One of my favourite players from an opposition side. So it's a shame that the players on his own team couldn't lift for him, but he has been fantastic for football.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I love him too.
You'd absolutely love to see somebody run around and jump the way that he has. He's been
All heart and everything like that.
everything.
All right, let's move on. Fuck him.
All right.
Sounds like not everyone was quite so sincere there.
Like one of the greatest footballers of all time. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to North.
North. Go North.
I don't know if there was a lot to take out of this game.
It was a routine win in pretty hot conditions. I think it was about 31 up there, so that would have suited Brisbane more. But we got the job done. We didn't look great, but yeah, it was one of those games where you go in, you get the win, you throw away the tape and just bank for 4 points. So we got out of it pretty well. And Iron Waite kicked 5 goals again. So.
Yeah, I was going to say Potential played well, didn't he? That was like the only thing to take out of the game.
Yeah, pretty
mean,
much.
Daniel
He also...
And another Xer.
Yeah, he carried the X's to the win this week.
And he 20 and 5 too, so he was doing it all.
20 and 5. You do Carlton him. He's reached his potential.
Yeah.
He's not even the 10th anymore. He has arrived.
Yeah, he got there. It took us to get him there, but he got... And I heard Cookie mention Daniel Wells as well. He's going to be like a new recruit this year. He's hasn't played for a year, and he's just slotted in there beautifully. And
well, he is 31, so he basically is a new recruit at North.
well, yeah, it's like he'll help Higgins get off the leash and Dalsano and players like that, so that can only be good.
Go Kangas. Kangas going to win the flag.
Good on you, Tej.
Has anyone seen those new Fox Footy ads where they ask the coaches about, can you find the games in the footy record that don't matter? They've only been running it for the weekends, and the coaches all laugh and say they all matter.
Yeah.
I think this was the first one of the season that didn't matter. Like, it was, like, we managed to get something out of that to discuss, but apart from that, fuck all happened in this game.
It was basically Jared Waite, and that was it.
I think a lot of Brisbane's games aren't going to matter by the time the year is out.
You reckon? They're not going to matter at all.
I wasn't saying it was some bold insight. I think it was pretty clear. But yeah, Brisbane seemed to be the team that are going to play the most games that don't matter this year.
So what happens when your whole club doesn't even
Serves
matter
him right. But
now because bridesmaid to the guys down the road? Fucking
But I did notice something. I'm pretty sure if Brisbane was a Melbourne team, they would have some of the most dislikable players going around. Like some of the little cunts like Rockcliffe and fucking Hanley and these
I
little...
hate Rockcliffe.
They're lippy and they're scraggy and they're like, who the fuck? And some of them I don't even remember their names. They're trying to give niggle and they're like, who the fuck are
So
you?
they're basically like Melbourne players then.
Yes, they are a pack of cunts. Let's face it.
And
they're
I never noticed this.
little turds. They don't even fucking belong in this game.
The only reason I noticed is because we were playing them, because I don't watch a lot of Brisbane games, as not many people would, I'm guessing. But like, that's why I say, if they were a Melbourne club, fuck me, would people hate it.
Jeez, we're putting the boots into Brisbane, aren't we?
I guess that happens when you're at the wrong end of the ladder. Although they are at the top end of a different ladder, but we'll come to that later.
Top end of the quad ladder.
The last game of the round, Coles cruised past Carlton. Not a whole lot out of this game.
Cruised past Carlton. They kicked their fucking heads in.
Yeah, well, literally too, because, and I think this is the most pointed thing about Brendan Bolton taking over Carlton, is that when was the last time you heard Carlton being in a melee?
Oh, 20 years ago.
Probably on the Ratton.
It's probably the 90s, yeah. Like, this is the thing, Bolton's actually brought some unsociable football to them, and it was Tui started the fight.
An Irishman. Took an Irishman to start the fight.
No, but Sydney looked very good, though.
But Carlton were pretty shit. But that was all I took out of this game. They actually seemed to have a bit more fight than they've had for quite some time. Certainly more fight than under Malthouse.
Luke Parker, again, jet.
Buddy played pretty well. Tippett, you know, he better save his good games for someone one who matters, though, not Carlton. Let's move on if we got nothing else. We'll start with drugs.
I don't have any.
What about Viagra?
Oh, yeah, got some of that.
We discussed Essendon before and, the fans not realising and all that shit. And Brent Prismal was interviewed over the weekend. And I'm really enjoying how now that the suspensions have come through and there's a bit of distance opening up, the cracks are appearing and now the whacks are coming and people are taking their shots. And Prismal gave Essendon a big whack over what they were given.
I heard the interview. Good interview.
He's had more support at the Dogs than at Essendon, bearing in mind the Dogs only get about 15k to games. Thank you for the sympathy laugh. It wasn't that good a joke.
Oh, I didn't know the joke. I thought you were being serious because it's true.
Well, no, because by support he meant that club looking.
Yeah, I know, but that's kind of his job. He is the welfare manager, so it's funny that they've had to port to the support.
Yeah, that's true. He has to look after Cramry. He looks after Cramry better than Essendon. Yeah, it was funny to see how Dyson Heppel the other week danced around a question about what he felt about Hurd, and now Prismal's kind of come out and said, "Bam, Hurd would have known."
I think it's a lot harder for the players who are still employed by the club to tee off on them, whereas Prismal's far enough removed now that he can say what he feels on the issue.
Then why the fuck will Spike not shut up?
That's because he's a wanker.
I think because Spike put his flag in the ground pretty early and he can't really move away from that.
Plus the fact that Spike's a cunt.
Yes.
Actually, on Spike, did anyone catch that April Fool's thing?
Yeah.
I was just really waiting for in that April Fool's thing when he was talking about how it's like we've discussed off air that I'm not going to answer any questions about Jared. I was so waiting for him to drop a, were you asleep in the meeting or something? Just something.
He's an arsehole. He's a complete arsehole.
My favourite part of the bands was that he can't work at the Giants, but
The truest word.
But I think that's a sad part. I think that's a sad part of for Prismal.
No, but that's couldn't have happened to a nicer bloke. Get tapped on the shoulder, mate. See you later.
Yes, exactly.
But as Morgs is saying, on the flip side, it's unfortunate for Prismal, who has a much different role as well. It's not even a specifically on-field role.
Yeah, he doesn't have an on-field role, and he's not the kind of person that deserves that tap on the shoulder, which he actually didn't get because he still worked there for another 2 weeks afterwards.
He's had a pretty bad run with the injuries and everything, and it's only fair he gets to tee off over those people.
He really does. You know what? Good Werribee bloke.
Anything else on Prismal going whack?
No, deserve. More players should do it.
To quote Jake Carlisle, that club is fucked.
The rumblings are starting and the avalanche will come later, I think. Let's stay on the drugs, and hair tests came into a second week. Collingwood got a little bit petulant, a little bit childish this week.
No, we didn't. We did what was right. We did exactly what I would do. I'm not talking to you anymore.
Not even Essendon did that over the people writing nasty articles about them.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Packed up your mics and your backboard and went home.
Well, we don't need the Herald Sun. The Herald Sun need us, so fuck off.
I'm very surprised that only 11 players from any club was tested positive, because it would have been more. It certainly would have been more.
Well, not all clubs only had 11, and we'll come to point 2 of hair tests. Hawthorn are top of both ladders. They're the reigning premiers, and they're the reigning injunction champ with 21.
Yeah, but, there's guys, they know how to dodge the tests. So if he got 11 or 12, there's probably more than 20, really.
There is more than 20 at Hawthorn. It's Luke Hodge dragging along all the youth to his hedonistic parties.
This is my theory on this, actually, is that why was Collingwood chosen? Probably because there are big names on the Collingwood one, like probably Swanee and a couple of other really big superstars, whereas they consulted the Hawthorn list and they went, there's Luke Hodge, and here's some young VFL player, young VFL player, young VFL player, young VFL player. And it's just a whole bunch of impressionable, vulnerable youngsters that good bloke has gone and led astray. And that's why there's no story about Hawthorn, because it's just Hodgie and future Dale Garlets.
Well, they know
Luke Hodge is future James Hurd.
They know how quick Hawthorn are to launch an injunction, so they didn't want to name them. There'd be no point to be allowed to talk about it again. And maybe because some of the players listed are also accused rapists, so they can't talk about them either. Whatever happened to that?
Oh, what? Don't say that.
What? They've been accused of rape.
That happened. There's 3. 2 and a third investigated.
I'm not shredding any new news here or making anything up. They have 2 accused rapists on their list.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Did you turn off the news in the off-season?
Yes, I will not say anything else.
Just whilst we're talking about the drug ladder, and the only other thing to add, I guess, is so Collingwood are third on the ladder and Hawthorn are first. Who was second again? Morgs, do you know who was second?
I think it might have been Brisbane. It might have been Brisbane,
no.
guys. Hashtag
Was it like-
where is
Jesus,
Dane
if you-
Beams?
Must be some pretty shit drugs in Brisbane because they're always angry all the fucking time. I think they're probably on a come down.
It's Dane Beams doing the ball. It's why
You know
he's
what?
injured at the moment.
Old Quad Strikes himself. He's got him on the gear.
That's probably the other reason Brisbane weren't chosen, is because apart from Beams, no one knows who any of them are. Seriously, like, we discussed this, and troll purposes aside, you know, it's a good troll and all that to take the piss out of the injunction, but I think we're basically all in agreement that it's pretty much a who gives a fuck issue.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
That being said, if Brisbane are second on that list, like, you know, Hawthorn are first, but obviously they party hard, they play hard. It worked for West Coast. But if Brisbane are second on that list, you know, that does sort of reflect the culture there. You could actually read into that and more partly why that culture is so broken.
That culture was broken before the person who contributed to those quad amount of...
Well, maybe he was already walking into an environment that was conducive to that.
It's not like he walked away from one that had it. Like,
So what are we saying? That they're a bunch of drug fuck dickheads?
We're saying that that club is a rabble, and none of their games matter.
Well,
Dane
duh.
Beams. Hang on, let's have a look at the players that are there. They've got Dane Beams, they've got the rubbish bin, who, if you've seen that video, was off his chops. They've got, who else? Christensen, Zorko, trust me, they are partying hard.
Bris Vegas indeed.
Oh, well,
Favola has
fuck.
finally just
Brisbane.
Fuck 'em. Let's move on.
Yes, and back to Hawthorn, and probably the funniest story of the week. Hawthorn and the Pokies licenses. They didn't get an injunction on this one.
All they did, they just forgot to renew their licence. That's all.
They took advice from Bombers for Life and just said, well, what are they going to do? We'll just still run the Pokies. We won't renew the licence. How are they going to stop us?
They need the pokies because they need the money.
You'd think they'd make enough money selling their souls to Tasmania, but apparently not.
They haven't made enough money selling like 64 different jumpers and adding all these new colours to their uniforms so they can sell more merchandise.
It'll be interesting to see if they take an anti-pokey stance now that they've lost them. Like,
Oh, no, they won't do that. No way, they won't do that.
I can't wait for the rewriting of history on that, just on that subject. That is such a fucking Hawthorn thing to do.
It's the family club, man.
it'll be like,
Just-
we've decided that this is not how we want to be as a club, and they'll say something like that and just take a high moral stance on it.
Funny thing is, it's the Vegas Way Gardens, so it's like, it's happening right on the club's doorstep that they've done this. It's like, it just makes me think it's like there's, you know, maybe they've got some secret tunnel leading out of Waverley Gardens under the freeway over to
To Dingley.
fucking VFL Park, you know, to pump their dirty money through, like a Mexican drug tunnel, shooting the money through. Do we have anything else on that? It's a pretty big fuck up to make. It really is.
No matter how much premierships you win, every club is still capable of doing boneheaded fuck-ups.
Every club, you're right.
$16 million those pokies are worth to them.
Also, merger imminent for Hawthorn.
It happens in every industry. Every
Yeah,
business
and I
forgets to
fucking
dot their
hate it.
I's and cross their T's and shit like that. But fuck Hawthorn.
Let's move on. Next talking point. Did anyone catch the Puffers
Oh, no.
trying to
Oh.
expand their fan base? They saw the Crows' 600,000 members. They thought, fuck, how do we top that? And
At least
now
they're
they're
not
going to
cruising.
broadcast the highlights package into China. Half an hour a week of a Port Adelaide TV show with highlights.
So I've been to China 8 times, and I've got to tell you, they couldn't give a fat rat's ass about AFL.
I'm guessing this will be on at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday night or something, you know, for half an hour, you know, and the Puffers are going to write a story about it. And, you know, how good are we? This is so very Port Adelaide.
Yeah, it's just another publicity, attention whoring thing that they do to try to gain relevance. Like they try with Never Tear Us Apart. They've got all the pre-taped Ken Hinkley and pre-game speeches that they always do. They're just trying to fucking gain attention, and it's like it just comes off so plastic and fake.
Yeah. Port Adelaide are as plastic as an American newsreader's tits.
You could have just said as a tarp, plastic as a tarp.
Mergy top.
But when you mention it like that, if they were branching into Asia, I'm amazed they targeted China and not Japan, because there's the Pokemon angle and there's the Pufferfish. But no, I think this is just another Port fuck-up in that they've got their geography wrong. They studied geography the same way they studied maths and thought that they've been around for 140 years when really it's only 20. But Robbo's School of Counting, as Morgs calls it.
I don't know what they're trying to do.
Koshi wants
Whether they're
money.
going...
Well, they don't know what they're trying to do. They're just throwing fucking darts at the board.
Well, whether they're going into Hong Kong or Shanghai, they're fucked. They're not going to get anything.
All right, I'm reading an article by Rooch about this crap. So they took their Aboriginal Academy to China last year, and they've brought a Chinese player to Alberton on an international scholarship. And so this is the next phase of their China strategy.
Oh, what the fuck?
So it's like an exchange.
Yeah,
They're getting Chinese players in. Probably one called fucking shit or can't kick.
I want to see Yao Ming play at centre-half back. Until that happens, I don't give a fuck about this crap.
What a bunch of dickheads. What are they doing?
So it'll be shown 25, it'll be over 25 weeks. The Winners Style program will be shown in prime time on Saturday or Sunday on a major Chinese television network. Apparently, it's going to build a bridge for their club to China. I hope there is a bridge to China, and they all fucking walk across it.
Wait. How long do you think it'll be till Port Adelaide, being the money-grubbing shits that they are, bring out a red Chinese Guernsey?
How long until
It's like
Adelaide
fucking
goes to China? That's what I want to know.
They'll go to India. That's how it'll work.
This
It
will
won't,
cost more
because-
to operate than what they'll get out of it. It'll be just
No,
a...
but
And
they're-
they can't afford to
They're
be
searching
wasting
for
money.
opportunities to play games there, but that's tougher than they first thought. Duh. And they're sponsoring the South China AFL League and the Guangzhou AFL League and Team China. Oh, God. What a farce. Why don't you just win games of football, you shit cunts? Just win.
Let's move on to the questions. And we have a few from last week. We'll go with the first one. Kangaroos Forever's got two. He wants to know, will Richmond and Freo make the final? So quick answers on these. Yes and no from me.
Yes for Kangas, no for Fremantle.
No.
No,
Richmond.
it was Richmond and Freo.
Oh, sorry. No for both.
You just can't get North off your mind.
Yes,
Yes
for
to
Richmond, no for
Richmond.
Freo.
No to Fremantle.
I'll say they'll both just squeeze it. It's early days. You've got to cool the jets a bit. Like, they'll be 7th and 8th, probably.
You're a
You said
dickhead.
considered.
mate. They're not going to. Neither of them are going to make it.
All right, they're both fucked.
On the Adelaide Advertiser website, Boak says, "Sport not brave enough."
One I'd seen a 66 wants to know, and he's asked this one of me, did I get a discount on my microwave? It's just like everyone seems to think that we buy these new. It's just like, you don't want to be rushing to the store when all the other Richmond supporters are going, we use the same microwave, people.
Yeah, and unlike the memberships, the microwaves last a while.
And I have a question, actually, that I want to ask, and I just want to pose this to people. So, Wayne Campbell is moving to the Giants to take on a football role, and he's left the umpiring department, and he's actually left him in pretty good shape relative to Geishan. I just want to know, who do we think would be the ideal candidate to replace Wayne Campbell as head of the umpires?
Plugger 35.
See, this is where we need Penal to say Stevic. I think you're on the right track there, Cookie, but I think we need someone with a little bit of experience actually umpiring.
Suze.
Than Plugger, and I think you've got to go with Suze in that count. 600 games goal umpiring. Still doesn't know the rules, but I don't think that's going to matter because she has a vision.
Only umpire to ever break an arm. Serious answer, Luke Ball. Not serious
Actually,
answer.
I could do it. I could actually do it.
Yeah? You want to run the umpiring teach?
Yeah.
What would be your first change? Your first act as head of the umpires?
I'd probably change the head high tackle.
What, more free kicks for Selwood or less?
More.
Because you know Geelong are losing the free differential by 30 and are last. So
Shut up.
I'm trying to help you, you fuck prick. So this is why, because Selwood didn't play. Selwood didn't play last week. That's why you're losing the free kick differential.
Well, because you're losing the free kick differential, Selwood's not playing well.
Well,
That's exactly right. They changed the rule and they...
This happened last year, didn't it? You started ducking it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have-
Yeah, I'd fucking change that. Yeah.
Seriously, maybe Nathan Burke would be a good option. I mean, knows the rules,
Luke Ball.
hard player.
Luke Ball will get
Yes, agreed. Nathan Burke, great player.
a guy that wore a helmet's not going to induct you head rule.
Shut up, bitch.
No one else has an answer. NL's been quiet. He's the only one who hasn't given one. Like Boomer, maybe?
Probably Suze. Oh,
Boomer would need to retire.
Can't do
Boomer
that.
would apply while we're playing and just say, that's okay, I can do both. Free kick to me.
Lindsay Thomas.
Yeah, probably Lindsay Thomas. And then he'll just reverse all the rules that he was
Lindsay
responsible
Thomas, you fucking kidding me?
for and set the game back to how it was before they started making rules around him. So,
Oh, fucking... I thought he was going with the diving thing, but no, he's going to the slide rule. Oh, dear.
don't get
Yeah, what a suckhole.
fucking go wrong. Get over it.
Let's go to this week on the Bay. Spread of the week. I think there's a few to choose from here, and one of the nominations I think's been referenced earlier on, so let's get that out of the way. Cookie, you want to do a Morgs?
Yeah, I'll nominate my own thread. Things with more flax than Fremantle.
I'm going with Cookie's Fred.
Yeah.
I have to nominate. I can't not nominate it. A call for help from the Bay. Round 2, S Injection versus Melbourne at the MCG. As I said in the thread, it's the natural sequel to should Port Power embarrass the Gold Coast the same way we embarrassed Camry Crows. You gotta love an epic backfire that's so fucking confident. Striker really thought they were gonna win. And, you know, the odds were stacked heavily in his favour when he made that thread. Now it's backfired and quite spectacular. So that's my nom.
Ross Lyon, Fred again.
Deserves another honourable mention. Flog at the week time. If I think Cook probably won it on voting.
Oh, yeah. Got to give it to him.
Is it agreed, Morgs and NL? Or?
Yes. Cookie wins thread of the week.
You and Cookie's looking after each other through the week time. I'm not liking this.
Got to give a reach around to my friend Cookie.
Yeah, the reach rounds. There we go.
They're waxing.
I've got a Flog of the Week nomination. Chief, I know you might be listening. I haven't got it. My Flog of the Week is Chief for an absolute stinker of a thread that was moved to the Bay. It was shit. It wasn't funny. It had no good content in it, and it was just junk. And he deserves a whack. And I've got no tears for you, Chief.
Don't go the shit on because he's a friend of...
I don't care. And he had a whack in the thread, so if you read it, you'd know.
What a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he said that you were getting beaten by a woman again.
Well, you kind of did. No, I have other reach around on this. I want to nominate Reynolds Heron, who has been heavy after Bosk this week over the near Welch. We had Bosk Flog of the Week last week, which is funny considering Reg basically did the same thing last prelim final, but cried a lot more over it. And he's crying all over Pluggers threads, the Ross Lyon ones. He's just getting generally pretty angry. And
That's a lot of Freo supporters as well. I mean,
I know, he seems to be the saltiest of them all.
I'd like to go to late nomination as well. John Hart Jr.
Oh, good old D1.
Fuck the Pufferfish name is.
Yes, Cookie.
Yes.
I'm with 100%.
Stop being insecure about your little shit club and its tin pot leagues, which joined the big boy league, which has remained the same since the 1800s. Now fuck off and shut up.
Yes, take your Northern Ireland premierships and fuck off.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm backing him up. I like him.
Well, I'm going to agree with you now that you know that, but he tried to stink up the Pufferfish, poor to say the darndest things thread. Fucking kept talking about Rashudo trying to have sex with dogs, and that's how he got the parvo virus, and tried to turn that thread into a shit.
Oh, really?
As well. So that's an extra cherry on top of... Yeah, he did. It's all in the Divvy van. You can find it in there, because it's gone.
Oh, well,
now.
fuck him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to nominate him for trying to turn a darndest things thread into a torture fight. Don't fuck the darndest threads. And your franchise is 20 and you only have one flag. Congratulations to all of you who didn't give Morgs the reach around on her Flog of the Week this time.
Don't laugh. I was sticking up for you, Teach, you fucking goose.
But Teach was so fickle there, he jumped one to the other.
But it's so easy. Like, as long as you can just give him a little bit, then he'll change sides every time.
Morgs is my internet daughter, so I look after her.
Last week's poll, and, this is a bit awkward, because NL's hit, but the question was, who killed NL? 0% said Morgs in the basement with the gym equipment. 16.7% said Morgs in the bathroom with the bathwater. 25% said Morgs in the dungeon with the mystic dildo. 25% also said Patrick Dangerfield on the Crows cruise with his violent temper. And the winner with 33.3% was Jack Watts in Travis's darkroom Boomer's spunk drink. Next week's games, Puffers versus Essendon on the Friday night. The game's all of a sudden a lot more interesting than it probably appeared, this time last week. Does anyone give Essendon a chance? Does anyone think Essendon win this one?
No way at all.
No, Puffers will be two.
Yeah, I'm on the Puffers.
Puffers.
Yeah, Puffers. Yeah,
Putting my tips in as we do them so I don't fuck it up again.
St Kilda versus Collingwood at the MCG. Does anyone give St Kilda a chance?
Ooh, this is a big game. I reckon the Saints are going to win this.
You're a fucking...
No.
Now that Teach said that, I'm going Collingwood.
The Saints will need directions on how to find their way to the MCG because they haven't been there since fucking 2010. Yeah, Collingwood.
St Kilda's coming off the big loss. We have mentioned team big losses, but I don't think it's going to make a difference.
It won't. They're just playing trash football.
Yep.
St Kilda.
Richmond versus the Crows, and now I must point out this is Etihad where the Crows have an exceptional record.
Oh, big game.
Crows.
Richmond.
Richmond have less chance of Trent going missing, but then again we found out what happened when he doesn't go missing, so Adelaide.
Crowbots, I reckon that'll be a bit better than Richmond of the day.
Look, we have to be fucking better than that was fucking bullshit on Friday. If they don't come out and win this, we're fucked, basically. I think we'll win this because generally, after the microwave game, we generally do win.
I think you've gone too early. This is the microwave game. Like last I've told you, you all went too early when you were sacking Exactly. You've gone too early. The microwave game is yet to come.
Shut up, bitch. Richmond will win.
In a sneakily close game, the Battle of the Bridges, Kohlers versus the Giants. Oh, it's at the SCG.
It'll be closer than what everyone expects, and Western Sydney will pull up a good fight, but Sydney just have a bit more quality, so Sydney.
Sydney have streets more quality. Sydney.
I think Sydney are a tough enough opponent for the Giants to actually pull their finger out and take this one properly, which they haven't done probably the last 2 weeks, apart from patches against the Cat. But nah, the Swans form line's just too...
This is the first time that GWS will play a team that's going to make the 8, so they might pull their finger out.
Yeah, like they actually might lift for this game, but Sydney's form lines, I know they've only played Collingwood in round 1, and, you know, round 1 games are a bit of a false form line, Carlton the shit, but Sydney's imposing, all players are playing well. I've got to tip the Kohlers, but I would not be surprised.
Sydney by a fucking mile. Easily. 100 points.
100
Sydney.
points?
Yes, easy.
They didn't beat Carlton by that much.
Well, who gives a fuck?
An hour ago you said the expansion teams were coming.
Nah,
It's not
yeah,
this
but head fucking smashed him, and Sydney are going to win.
Fucking fickle. So fickle.
If you were listening to this, listen to Morgs, not Teach.
Listen to Morgs.
Reach arounds everywhere.
My predictions this year have been on point, dickheads.
Who am I getting the Richmond from?
You're not.
No. Morgs and Cookie like a couple of Hawthorn supporters here. Just getting all in each other's goo. Did NL tip that game?
Yeah, Sydney. I'd love them to fuck it up, but no, I don't think they will.
Carlton versus Suns. Does anyone give Carlton a chance up north? Like, the Suns have
No.
been decent.
Carlton! Carlton the fuck!
Well, I guess that's all that need to be said. Teach says they're fucked, so Gold Coast for me.
Yeah, Gold
Gold
Coast.
Coast by a fucking mile.
Gold Coast, Aaron Hall to take his Brownlow to 9 votes.
And to 23.
I'm going to go with Carlton in an upset.
Oh,
You fucking dickhead!
It's so contrary. It gives me the shits.
No, they've played well, but I don't know if they're ready to win 3 in a row.
I actually can legitimately see where he's coming from, in the sense that, have the Suns arrived yet, or are they still not quite in the Melbourne category, but are they good enough to actually beat a good team and then not drop for the team that they really should beat the next week? And these are the games they lost 2 years ago when they were decent.
And I'm always wary when a coach uses the coming of age line. I remember Brad Scott used that line a few years ago when we beat Geelong, and then the next week we lost to Gold Coast or some shit team. And
Was this when your list was somewhat young?
This was 15 years ago when these players came of age.
so he's gone coming of age. You just got to be careful. I think they might just have a little speed up.
North are coming.
But what?
North are coming.
He was using them as an example, they're not the tip.
Oh, God.
Or we can talk about North if you want to.
Well, okay, we'll come back to the derby. We'll go to North versus Melbourne down at Blundstone. Northernlights predicted this as a danger game. I don't see it.
Oh no, fuck that. North are going to absolutely smash
North
them.
right down in Tassie too. I think they've only lost one of about 6 or 8 or whatever it is that they've played down there.
Yeah.
North to win. North to have a better
They're gonna do
list.
something sneaky and dirty and annoying.
Yeah, and everyone will melt about it.
And he'll drink Spock.
No,
Yeah, don't be a bitch about it. Jesus.
yeah, shut up, bitch.
They're going to be friend zero, and they deserve to be.
I tipped him for the flag, you dickhead. Go away.
Yeah,
North.
The derby is usually a good game, but
West Coast by 60 points.
yeah, and Freo to score 100.
It'll be perfect skiing conditions for Josh Kennedy, so West Coast by a fuck ton.
I'm picking the Brisbane Lions West Coast scoreline, where West Coast concede 100 and Freo score 100 and West Coast still win by a lot. That's how bad Freo's defence is now.
Yeah, West Coast, easy.
I'm going to tip Freo. They'll
Oh, what?
Oh my god.
get in an upset
Not even penals is contrary.
because they've been under pressure all week. They're still copping it, and it's the Derby, so it's their grand final. They've got the whole little club drum going.
If they're grand final, they won't win.
Yeah.
These are the only flags they've got. Well, it's not a flag, but, you know, because of the moon thing, but...
Yeah, exactly. This is it for them. This is the be-all and end-all as far as Freo are concerned. So they'll for this and then choke next week when they play North.
Well, they're going to choke this week, and they're going to choke next week.
Well, it's not a choke when you're not
So-
favoured, really.
Oh, not
No, well,
choke.
they're fucked. West Coast will beat them.
Lion's going to find himself in a really big hole this week, and that's not going to be Cockburn. Moving on to probably the game of the round, Bathwater versus Goo, in the battle of the supporters' choice of drink.
Hawks.
Oh, wow.
I will say this, Western Bulldogs tend to play fast like Port Adelaide is what NL thinks, and he's correct. Hawthorn struggled with Port Adelaide last year in teams who can play pace.
Old
So
and slow.
if Hawthorn can control the pace of the game, they win. If they don't, Dogs will win. So I'm going to go probably Hawthorn just.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Hawthorn just. But, yeah, the Bulldogs could pull a sneaky. They really could.
It's not really sneaky if it's all you fucking hear about.
Oh,
I'm tipping the Dogs.
man.
Stop hanging shit on me, bitch.
Look who's trying to tear them down with the contrary.
Yeah.
Contrary. They
Yeah.
somehow managed to make the finals and play 7 games at their home ground in the first 7 games.
That's
Talk
true.
about fucking spoon-fed.
How did you get first 7 games at Etihad?
Oh,
That's an-
because they've literally sucked off half of AFL House.
How would you be privy to knowing that they literally have? How do you know that information?
Well, someone's had to do the other half.
Oh.
You are just not behaved. You.
I'm sorry, I didn't realise we all had to behave.
No, you are my internet daughter, and so
I'm being held to a higher set of standards than everyone else. It's
Put
not
on a
fair.
pedestal again.
Stop putting me on the pedestal.
You're not very well behaved. What can I
Dude, you
say?
can't say you're not behaved when you call someone a bitch and shut up cunt all the time.
Thank you, Cookie.
Shut up, Cookie, you fucking asshole.
They're well behaved.
Cookie's not well behaved at all.
No, fucking asshole.
Bulldogs for me. Boyd to kick a bag on clanger makers.
So how come you can tip the Bulldogs and it's okay, and I tip them and it's all wank. Contrary.
Because I don't talk about them and their bathwater and how much they shit me all the time.
Sorry, I only get to choose between 2 sides, and I think one of them will win. And unfortunately, it's the Dogs. Ugh, doesn't make me happy.
Cats versus Brisbane in the battle of the shit drug cultures.
Yeah, we'll probably beat Brisbane. Yeah.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
They'll beat Brisbane just to, get them back on track for their flag that they're not going to be in the finals to win.
Yes.
Premiership hangover to continue. Bryans.
Oh, fuck off, you cunt.
I think Geelong will not be very well behaved and will lose to Brisbane.
Listen to you all. You fucking asshole.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna look really smart when they beat your asses.
Yeah, I know.
Geelong.
Yeah, I think it'll be a shit game, but Geelong will sneak.
There
I
you
think
go.
that if they did testing afterwards, there'd be for quite a few that get some strikes.
My daughter and my son-in-law agree with me.
Oh, happy.
Oh, whoa, jeez.
Welcome to the family, Nell. This is just so weird.
There's one very big, happy, fucked up Flogcast family here.
Oh, Flogcast Brady Bunch.
Because don't forget Morgs, your mother peel.
I miss Mummy.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Oh, Jesus, that is fuck up.
And that's as good a note as any to end on. This was the Flogcast for round 3. Starburns, joined by Cooksen,
This family's gonna need therapy.
Teach,
Farewell.
Northernlights,
Yeah.
and Morgs.
Daddy didn't love me.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week.